There we go.
Let's go. What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Shredding Social with Joe Wilson and myself, Josh Pitts. We're hanging out today, and I'm excited to be back. Joe Wilson was last week. We missed him. He was out doing incredible things around the industry, but every single week, we try to bring you the best of the best when it comes to social media, continuing to grow your brand and staying relevant. And now more than ever, Joe and I are going to be talking about how to double down, even in an industry that has some fear going on. We're going to get into this conversation and help you continue to navigate this world of social media. But before we do, Joe Wilson, what is up, brother?
Dude, freaking so much. It's a busy time, and it's busy time for literally everybody. And, busyness is good, but being slow is worse. And that's what we're about to talk about today. But how are you, man?
Dude,
you guys getting hammered with snow.
Dude, hammered. We continue, and we have a winter weather advisory. It is spring, ladies and gentlemen, but we have a winter weather advisory in effect from 6 p.m. this evening to like Thursday morning. We're supposed to get like another 8 or 9 inches of snow. And I'm like, please, I'm just done. Please stop snowing. But anyway, like I'm grateful for the water. We need the precipitation. We need it in a reservoir. So, I can only complain so much about it. I'm just tired of shoveling the snow. But Joe, you mentioned something. I want to jump back into literally what you are talking about, because there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of questions going on in the market. But you and I, our companies, and I'm not trying to pat ourselves on the back or say, look at us, we're amazing. But social media is still a huge topic. Both of our companies are thriving right now. And I only bring that up purely because social media is where consumer attention is at. Mm-hmm. Both what our companies do and what we try to do every single week on this show, try to guide all of our mortgage professional, the industry professionals out there. We're trying to help them with this. And now more than ever, doubling down, focusing on the right efforts is critical to business development, to business success for everyone out there.
I couldn't have said it better. I think that I'm sure that each of you out there has gotten the same questions that I've been getting, that Josh, you probably getting. How does Silicon Valley Bank, Credit Suisse, how is this all impacting you? It's oh, I'm so sorry you're in the mortgage business. People are like patronizing me, oh, are you going to be okay? Are things going to work out just fine? It's oh, you know what? Actually, things are pretty good. We saw, a positive mindset is very important, because folks are, if you look at what's going out in the macroeconomics of the world, it can get a little scary. It's a little gnarly out there right now. But what's happening in our space is the same thing that has been happening for the last 6-8 months. Is that volumes are down, but there's still a lot of business happening. And we saw a little bit of a rate relief this week and last week. So we're not as high as we once were, but it's still not look, we're not going back to 3% anytime soon.
No.
But there is a lot to be happy about, a lot to be thankful for. And I think that the folks that are doing really, really well right now are doing one thing that most other people are not doing, and that's being consistent with their sales and marketing goals. And selfishly, social media, so take this at face value, coming from two guys that are all about social media. But those we're seeing this time and time again. The folks that are consistent on social media are gobbling up market share left and right.
Literally.
And there's a specific reason for that. And they're doing another thing about that. They're staying positive. It's really, really easy to go into this negative mindset and start talking about, the world's going to end, or banking and mortgages are going to be awful for the next whatever period of time. But that's not necessarily true. And there's still going to be business being done no matter what. But people flock to positivity. So get on it.
Okay, that is it. I'm so glad you end kind of, or not end, but you transition with that. Positivity is everything. Consumers' attention, they want positivity. There's so much negative in the banking world. You and I have both heard it. I've had even people that know I don't even do mortgages anymore. Josh, are you going to be okay? You're going to survive this. I'm like, yes, because I'm we're doubling down. We're focused in the right areas. And we have a bunch of people on here. I don't know if we hit an algorithm or something today, but we have a ton of people that are jumping on here. Yeah. Awesome. So what is up, everybody? We appreciate you joining us, and we'd love your comments, or if you have questions on this. But doubling down here, ladies and gentlemen, is a huge, very, very important, more than ever. And to your point, Joe, showing up in a positive way. Your communities need you to be positive. That doesn't mean you can't share some of the things that maybe they have questions about, but you don't need to be all doomy and gloomy. You don't need to be negative. We have a negative media world right now, and that's why we do Shredding Social. We continue to spin like there's so much positive. The industry, sure, volume is down a little bit, but for all of you who are doubling down and being consistent on social media, consumers' attention is there, Joe. You and I have seen that. We've seen the data. It speaks for itself. So doubling down and focusing on the right things right now. If you're slow, why aren't you doubling down? Why aren't you here on social media? Why aren't you creating the content? Why aren't you working with great companies like Shred You and Social Coach to help you navigate the times that we're in? But here's one thing, Joe, and you came back from an event recently. What are the leaders of our industry saying right now? What are because it's not just like the general, all of our originator and real estate friends out here, but what are the leaders of our industry saying right now?
Yeah, I think they're all cautiously optimistic, right? And I think that there's two big things that have happened in the past 6 months or past 8 months into the mortgage, into the global banking world. Number one was rates jumped dramatically, and that has changed a lot of our business because a lot of companies are focused solely on refinances, right? So a lot of companies got very bloated. They had to get rid of large amounts of their teammates on reductions of forces, things like that, which is very painful for everybody involved, right?
Right.
That part has kind of like seen the end of things, but now we're kind of looking on this like kind of more global economic crisis that we're in right now, and I think there is some concern about that. Now that happened kind of post conferences, but what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, I had lunch with a great industry friend yesterday, Kevin Peranio, and so we kind of talked about this at lunch yesterday, and he had some great. If you're not following KP right now, go we'll drop a link in this, and you need to go follow Kevin. He drops so much knowledge about what's happening in the mortgage business, and takes up a notch to help you understand what's happening in the world of finance. And he is very positive and bullish on the market today. And you mentioned Barry Habib earlier, right? I mean, there's a lot of positiveness coming out of people that really truly understand how the macroeconomics affects and impacts the mortgage space. And and then the other side of that too is a lot of these leaders have been around for longer than the last 2 years, right? The ones that have just got in and trying to make a buck and then getting out, those guys are nervous and they're moving on to doing something else, right?
Right.
But the ones that have been here, I mean, look, guys, we were here in 2012 and 13 when things were kind of crappy. We were here in 2008 when things really hit the fan. We were here in 2002, 2001 with the .com era, bubble bursting. All these things. It's a cyclical market. Always. And true leaders hold the course, stay the course, and continue paddling upstream when they have to keep on the business running. So that's what I'm hearing, is that it's kind of same mentality of, hey, look, we're still here, we're doing business, and the folks that are going to win right now are the ones that are not running scared, that are operating from a standpoint of, we will get through this and we're gonna do it the smart way.
Dude, you just mentioned some of the leaders in our industry. You mentioned Kevin Peranio. You mentioned Barry Habib. You mentioned some of the people who have been through this, who are experts. I like people who said, you and I are masters of finance. We're not. I mean, we've been around the block a time or two, but we are masters of social media. We stay in our realm right now. But guys like Kevin Peranio, Barry Habib, and others, they do. This is a cyclical cycle. It always is in the mortgage industry. Yeah. But that's why you and I are talking about doubling down right now. Keeping yourself present, showing up for your community, creating valuable and positive content for them right now. That's what they need. You need to be showing up for them in a positive way. And that is what's going to help you gain their trust, gain their confidence. So when rates start to come back down, when the market starts to take a little bit of a shift, you're going to be the first one they're coming to. You're going to be they're like, well, Joe's always positive. He's got a positive outlook on this. So I better reach out to him because now's the time to buy, or now's the time to refi. I bought when rates were at 8.5% or whatever. I know that they didn't hit that, but I bought when they're high. So now it's time to reach out to Joe. You have to continue to show up because, Joe, here's the facts. If you don't, someone else is going to.
Dude, that is the most important part of this whole thing. If you're not doing it, they're going to see somebody else's message. And so that's like, if you want to run scared, you want to run that, operate in that mindset, get on social media and be present and regular and consistent on there, because if you don't, somebody else can do it.
100%.
But if you do that, you're also going to come off scared, right? And we're not saying you have to be all Care Bears with rainbows shooting out of your stomach and everything like that. We're talking about just like being positive, being calm, and sharing a positive viewpoint on the world, and looking at the current situation in a way that makes sense for consumers, because people still want to move. There's always a reason that you might, like, for certain people that have to refi or get a second loan, or look at their overall financial picture, that you as a loan officer can help them with, and share those positive stories that you're hearing and you're seeing with your community on social media.
Yep. Dude, I'm going to get us shirts that say the social media share bears. And it's just going to be rainbows coming out, baby. That's going down, but I do love this. And what, to your point, like you just said, Joe, they just need you to be there for them. And again, it doesn't always need to be mortgage. That's what you and I talk about. They just need a message of positivity. And you're saying, well, Josh, like, I can't be positive. Find it within you. Like, if you are just going to be negative, like, it's going to hurt you more than it's going to help you right now. So just be thinking, as you're creating your stories, your reels, all your posts out there, as you're showing up consistently, just think, like, how are people going to perceive this? How are they going to be seeing this? Come off positive. The world needs more positivity, even in distressed times that we're in. If you're positive, when we will, not when, like, we will get through this, you will come out ahead. You're going to be top of mind for them because you've shown up, you've been positive for them. So now's the time to double down. And if you need help with it, if you have questions on it, that's why we do this show. Reach out to Joe and I. We are here to help guide you through this journey that is social media. Joe,
shovel that snow. It'll be spring soon.
I keep hoping, man. I'm just going to
I mean, that's the message, though, right?
That's it.
It's like, just keep shoveling. You're going to get out of it. It'll be fine.
The sun will shine eventually, and we're going to just keep at it. And guys, that's the same with social media. Keep showing up, whether it's your first video or your 100th video. You just got to stay consistent. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We're going to leave on that note. This has been an absolutely brilliant show. As always, Joe Wilson continues to share. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give a little teaser. If you have been thinking about AI in your business and how it can help you show up on social media, next week's episode is purely for you, because my good friend Joe Wilson, a social coach, just are about to drop something, little teaser. Are about to drop something that's about to be a game changer in the mortgage industry. So make sure you guys tune in next week to hear all about it. Joe Wilson, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the freaking only. We appreciate you. We love you. We'll see you guys all next week on Shredding Social.